Get ready for some massive NFL news. Dexter Lawrence is officially heading to the Cincinnati Bengals in a blockbuster trade, and we break down everything you need to know about this huge move. We dive deep into the details of how this deal was structured, what it means for the Bengals' defense, and why this acquisition is shaking up the entire league. This is the story of Dexter Lawrence trade grades and the massive energy he's bringing to the franchise.
Never get caught with a dead phone again. This INIU portable charger is compact, travel-friendly, and gives you fast 45-watt charging with a built-in USB-C cable, so there's no need to carry extra cords. With 10,000 mAh power, it's perfect for busy days, trips, emergencies, or anytime your battery drops too low. Grab yours on Amazon through the link in the comments before your phone hits 1%.
Next up, we look at the incredible maneuvering behind the scenes that made this happen. We explore the intense negotiations between the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals, including the contract discussions with Dexter Lawrence's camp and the strategic thinking behind the Bengals using the number 10 pick. Find out exactly what the Giants were hoping to gain and how the Bengals ultimately secured this top-tier defensive tackle. We also analyze the immediate impact of this trade on the Cincinnati Bengals depth chart. We break down the roster shifts, focusing on candidates like T.J. Slaton and McKinley Jackson, who are now facing increased pressure after Lawrence's arrival, and how this move is reshaping their outlook for the upcoming NFL draft. And finally, we look ahead to the future of the NFL draft with this trade in mind. We discuss the broader implications for the draft, the movement of tackles, and what this shift signals for the rest of the league. Don't miss a second of this action. Stay locked in for more breaking news right here. The speculation surrounding a potential trade involving Dexter Lawrence to the Minnesota Vikings has officially ended, shifting the team's defensive tackle strategy. The Cincinnati Bengals have finalized a trade, sending Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals in exchange for the number 10 pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Lawrence has signed a one-year extension through the 2028 season with the Bengals. This development effectively terminates the idea of Lawrence joining the Vikings. The Vikings must now pivot their focus to securing defensive tackle talent through the draft or free agency, targeting players such as Christian Wilkins or DJ Reader. Previously, the Vikings considered several draft prospects, including Woods, McDonald, Banks, and Hunter, with McDonald and Hunter being noted as nose tackle options similar to Lawrence. However, the team is now assessing established options that align with their defensive needs. Christian Wilkins has emerged as a strong candidate. Following his time with Miami, his strengths in run defense and physicality make him a logical fit to address the immediate need for interior defensive line reinforcement, given the recent exits of Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. His endorsement carries significant weight, and his profile aligns well with the scheme priorities set by the coaching staff. DJ Reader is also being considered as a viable option, possessing the size necessary to fill the nose tackle role. Reader has already been courted by other teams, including the Baltimore Ravens. In contrast, the Bengals' defensive line structure in September is expected to feature Myles Murphy, Jonathan Allen, and Dexter Lawrence, alongside Boy Mafe and Shemar Stewart. The Bengals' decision to trade Lawrence for a draft pick signals a strategy shift, moving away from development toward acquiring proven defensive commodities. Lawrence is now slated to turn 29 in November and has not logged a full sack in 22 games. The blockbuster trade involving Dexter Lawrence II between the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals has officially been consummated, marking a significant moment in the NFL draft landscape. The deal was finalized after the Giants pursued an attempt to retain Lawrence, which ultimately failed. This transaction provides valuable takeaways for both franchises and offers insights into current draft trends. For the Giants, trading a top 10 pick clean for a veteran player is an unusual move, signaling the high value the Bengals are securing. The negotiation process highlighted several key points. Lawrence's camp initially raised contract concerns following a career year, but the Giants sought middle ground, ultimately agreeing to $3 million in achievable incentives just before training camp. This structure ensured Lawrence's return in 2026. The Bengals, meanwhile, leveraged the 10th overall pick to secure future assets. Their assessment focused on the draft class, determining the likelihood of landing a mid to late first-round talent like Caleb Downs or Mansour Delane. Cincinnati also analyzed the potential of their roster, aiming to solidify their defensive tackle group by integrating Lawrence with existing talent, including B.J. Hill and T. Higgins. The deal structure was complex, involving negotiations around contract restructuring and the 12-month rule. Ultimately, the agreement added a year and $28 million to Lawrence's existing deal, effectively structuring a 3-year, $70 million contract with the Bengals. Beyond the trade, the analysis extends to broader draft trends. Experts suggest that the drop-off in quality among tackles entering the first round is significant, with 7 tackles potentially being selected in the first round. This creates opportunities for teams like the Buccaneers and Jets in the mid to late first round. The status of Tennessee cornerback Jermod McCoy remains a major wildcard, with longevity concerns overshadowing his immediate potential, though he is viewed as a better prospect than some peers. In the receiver class, there is significant depth, with predictions pointing to 5 players in the first round, including Ohio State's Carnell Tate and Arizona State's Jordan Tyson. The quarterback landscape is also dynamic. Some analysts see a potential drop-off after Fernando Mendoza and suggest a year-long development window for prospects like Carson Beck. Running back prospects, however, show more stability, with Jadarian Price being viewed as the next sure thing after Jeremiah Love. Overall, the current draft exhibits high volatility rather than a clear gap between the first and third rounds, making the upcoming draft period highly unpredictable and exciting for observers. The Cincinnati Bengals have secured a blockbuster deal to land defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, signaling a significant shakeup in the team's front office and defensive strategy. Behind the scenes, sources indicate that General Manager Brown and Assistant General Manager Steven Radisvik spent weeks pursuing dominant defensive talent, including Lawrence, even while signing 4 new starters in free agency. Lawrence's arrival is being heralded as a game-changer, with him reportedly exclaiming, "I know they gave up a lot for me, I have a fire." The trade itself is notable for its unconventional nature. The Giants traded a defensive tackle to the Bengals in exchange for the number 10 overall pick. This move contrasts with the Bengals' history of waiting to commit to star players, such as Trey Hendrickson, despite Hendrickson's strong performance. The Bengals are reportedly now working on offering Lawrence a substantial raise. Insider discussions revealed that talks between the Giants and the Bengals began nearly 2 weeks ago, suggesting the Giants saw a potential path to acquiring another top 10 pick in exchange for Lawrence. Lawrence, who requested a trade on April 6, was reportedly trying to maintain his status with the Giants' longest-tenured player. Bengals Director of Player Personnel, Duke Tobin, confirmed the move, stating, "The opportunity to add a player of Dexter's ability was too good to pass up thanks to the commitment by Mr. Brown, Katie Blackburn, Troy Blackburn, Paul Brown, and our player personnel staff. Dexter fits the vision we have on our defense and will also elevate others around him." From a draft perspective, the trade allowed the Bengals to secure a player with the 10th overall pick, significantly bolstering their defensive line. Lawrence has been noted for commanding a high double-team rate on pass rushes, standing at 72.7% over the last 3 years, cementing his status as a premier defensive tackle. The Cincinnati Bengals are undergoing a significant shakeup to their defensive roster following the blockbuster trade that brought interior defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence to the team. This move is expected to drastically alter the team's depth chart and future NFL draft outlook. With Lawrence's arrival, the focus is shifting to evaluating existing personnel. B.J. Hill, who was dealing with an injury-plagued season, and T.J. Slatton, who had an underwhelming performance, have firmly established themselves as cut candidates. Furthermore, the signing of Jonathan Allen this offseason has increased pressure on recent draft picks Crease Jenkins and McKinley Jackson. Consequently, two names are now facing the prospect of being cut. TJ Slaton, while a capable run defender, was not a primary target for the team's evaluation process at the Combine and other appearances. His $6.6 million cap savings position makes him a likely candidate for a pre-June 1 cut, especially pending details on Lawrence's new contract. However, the Bengals are less likely to let go of Crease Jenkins, a former second-round pick who could benefit from experience alongside players like Lawrence and Allen. McKinley Jackson, however, faces a greater risk of being released. Jackson had previously requested a trade or release mid-last season due to struggles making the active roster, and given he was a third-round pick from the same draft class as Jenkins, he was already on the chopping block before the Lawrence acquisition. While Slaton is positioned to be cut before Lawrence due to cap considerations, Jackson could find himself on the hot seat throughout the summer. Jenkins remains a viable option should the team add more players or if his performance falters. The current defensive alignment suggests a multi-defense strategy, utilizing odd and even fronts to provide a comprehensive look at the roster before the draft. The current defensive lineup features Myles Murphy, Cedric Johnson, and Isaiah Foskey on the defensive line, with Dexter Lawrence, TJ Slaton, Crease Jenkins, and Jordan Jefferson also listed in the DL group. The interior line includes B.J. Hill, Jonathan Allen, and McKinley Jackson, alongside defensive ends Boy Mafe, Shemar Stewart, and Antoine Powell-Ryland.